A young man reportedly killed over a woman.
And help us to bring this matter to conclusion.
A dump fire affects surrounding neighborhoods. The environment minister says it's under control.
It's one of the ongoing challenges.
The opposition attacks the government for the handling of COB students, plus a look at a brewery's new headquarters.
The administrative offices and a distribution center.
I'm Nakia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Everyone, thanks for joining us this Saturday for NB12 Weekend. An argument over a woman ended in murder this morning, according to police. The victim is the fifth man to be killed this week. The shooting happened just outside of a popular restaurant and bar. Police spent the early morning hours processing the scene, and now they need your help finding some of the suspects.
Sometime around 2:45 a.m. this morning, police responded to reports of a fight at this a local establishment here on Blue Hill Road. Upon arrival at the scene, they met a male suffering from apparent gunshot wounds about the body.
We're told that the victim, identified by friends as 27-year-old Ali Bain, was inside South River Restaurant and Bar when he got into an argument with at least two men over a woman. According to officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, the men went outside as the argument escalated. That's when the suspect pulled a gun out and reportedly shot Bain several times in front of a crowd,
fatally wounding him. EMS responded to the scene and pronounced the male dead.
The shooter then fled the scene with two other men in a gold Buick Century. One of the men believed to be involved with this latest homicide was later captured by police. But the hunt continues for the remaining suspects.
We are also right now looking for at least one or two other males who left the scene in a Buick vehicle. This vehicle was pursued by officers and told it was involved in a collision somewhere in the Dominica Avenue area, where the males exited the vehicle and made good their escape.
Police are making their usual appeal to members of the public who may have any information on the suspect's whereabouts to contact them immediately. Bain is the country's 33rd victim so far this year. Well, just minutes before that murder, police were dealing with another shooting, but the victim of that incident managed to escape with his life.
Sometime around 2:15 a.m., a male drove to the Wolf Road police station suffering from gunshot wounds to the chest. EMS responded and transported this male to the hospital. The information right now is still sketchy. He was unable to give us much information as to what and where he received his injuries.
Police later learned that the man was approached by a gunman while on Cordo Avenue who shot him and fled on foot. The victim of that incident is said to be in hospital in serious condition. Well, police are also investigating a stabbing incident that left an 18-year-old male student in hospital yesterday. According to reports, shortly after 9 a.m. yesterday, the victim got into a fight with another 18-year-old student at a local high school who stabbed him in the shoulder with a knife. EMS took the victim to hospital where he was last listed in stable condition. The 18-year-old suspect is in police custody. Well, police over in Eleuthera are investigating a tragic accident on that island. A 48-year-old man died yesterday after his blue 1995 Chevy Lumina collided with a truck. The accident reportedly occurred around 6:30 yesterday evening at the intersection of Queens Highway and Church Street, Palmetto Point. The driver of the Lumina was headed north along Queens Highway when he hit the truck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The other driver was seriously hurt as well, according to police. He was later airlifted to New Providence, where he is detained in hospital in critical condition. Officers from the Police Traffic Division traveled to Eleuthera today to assist local police with the investigation. The search for a tourist who got swept out to sea off Eleuthera yesterday ended tragically this afternoon after police discovered the body of a 31-year-old man from Palm Beach, Florida, along the shore of an Eleuthera beach. Preliminary reports indicate that around 6:30 yesterday evening, the unidentified man was swimming at a local beach with family and friends when he and 3 others were swept away by a high tide and current. The 3 people were able to swim ashore, however, the man went missing. Police, along with officers from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the U.S. Coast Guard, searched last night and this morning and eventually found the man's body along a separate shoreline. Well, in other news, a fire at the New Providence City dump overnight blanketed much of the area with acrid smoke this morning, prompting calls for a renewed focus on keeping dump fires under control. Juan McCartney reports.
This fire at the city dump has been raging since last night. And though it's now contained to within the confines of the landfill, many residents on the outskirts are complaining about copious smoke. We asked the minister today why dump fires seem to continually be a problem.
When we caught up with Environment Minister Ken Dorset today, he said he was made aware of the fire around 9 p.m. last night when he got a call from the Director of Environmental Health Services. He said the fire began at the western end of the dump. Dorset said it's believed that due to a lack of security because of strained resources, unauthorized people snuck onto the site and started the fire.
And there are a number of people who find entry at the landfill, scavengers looking for scrap metal, who often create these fires based on what they see there. And so it's suspected that that has happened again.
Dorset said by 10:30 last night, the department made provisions for heavy water trucks to enter the property. However, that was easier said than done.
It was in a very difficult space for us to reach, and so we had to bring in heavy equipment almost to create a pathway to enable everybody to get access to the fire. As a result, and particularly considering the way the wind was shifted last night, we had a lot of heavy smoke going into surrounding areas.
Despite the amount of smoke billowing off the dump well into the day today, Dorset said that it's under control.
We had to close the landfill for about an hour and a half to 2 hours simply because we had to contain the fire before we allowed anybody else entry onto the site. It's one of the ongoing challenges that we have, and I'm hoping that in this budget that I'm going to present, we're going to be able to allocate the necessary funds to really deal with remediation and bring the landfill under control.
Dorset also said the department is working on properly securing the dump, but he admitted it's a pretty big job.
The landfill is a massive area, and it requires human resources on the ground because oftentimes they find various points of entry. They jump over fences and the like to gain entry to the property. But I've been made to understand that they have identified where the potential suspects got entry to the landfill. And so we're hoping that that fence will be put back in place. But it's an ongoing exercise that we have, but we have to increase the security at the site to at least minimize those entering onto the property unlawfully.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Juan McCartney.
Coming up after the break, the opposition responds to the drama at COB.
They've demonstrated that they're not concerned or caring for the young people.
We'll be right back with that story.